Hello, my moons and my stars. My name is Brianna, and I own a small business called Moonwax Galaxy where I sell soy-based candles and wax melts. And today, I am giving you the monthly update vlog of sorts, sit-down talk for the month of March before March is over. Think of it as like a monthly wrap-up of sorts, I guess. Hello, updates. Today is going to be an update day. Feels like a Saturday, but it's not. So, a couple updates. I made my mahogany and sage candles for the pop-up that's not this Saturday, next Saturday on the 7th. Here's what they look like. So this one is mahogany. And it's just the gold, a gold tin with, this is actually craft paper. And how do we feel about this? What do we think? Like, does this look good? I don't know yet. This one is a sage. And I changed my wax melts packaging. So this is now sage and mahogany. I have them in the plastic containers. Before I had the long bars where they were wrapped up in like, it's like cellophane or something like that. Here's my dilemma, which I think I talked about before. These are easier to transport. These are easier to ship, but they're not, obviously because it's plastic, it's not necessarily the most eco-friendly thing. So that's a problem. So we have to consider like, what am I gonna do to offset that? I have seen ones where it's like brown, like a craft box, and then the insert is plastic in order to be like, oh, this is a more like eco-friendly option. But I'm saying like, okay, sure, there's still plastic, but maybe not as much plastic. But I still don't know how I feel about it. You feel me? So we're working on that. Those two things are done. I literally like last night got, well, I won't say last night. It was the night before. I got a bunch of orders pretty much like while I was sleeping. So I got one on Shopify where it came out to like $100-something order because they ended up ordering mostly a bunch of wax melts. And it was also an international order going to Finland. So figuring out customs in Shopify is a lot different than doing it in Etsy. I will say one thing about Etsy is that they make shipping so easy. So simple, so carefree. And like Shopify, I feel like I'm constantly fighting Shopify for no reason. But Shopify does this thing where like you have to put in the weight for your product and then it'll try to add it up itself. And then so like when you package everything and then you put it together and that weight isn't equal to or more, then it's like, no, you can't do this. And I'm like, let me tell you how much it weighs and then you calculate the shipping based off of that, which is what Etsy does. I'm like, I will tell you how much it weighs and then you do what you're supposed to. So literally that's my personality a little bit. I just fight with technology all the time until it does what I want it to do. So that's fun. Anyways, so we got a bunch of orders off of our Shopify pretty much overnight. So we got a big order for that. Then we got like two orders while I was sleeping. Then we got like a third order on Etsy where they ordered like a bunch of the mini Twisted Wonderland jars, but they ordered like 7 of them. So that came out to almost like, I would say $80 maybe. And then I got a third order for Asterion pretty much. And usually I'm pretty good at trying to keep the Asterion like in stock, especially the wax melts because they're so popular. But I guess time got away from me because right now I only have one left. I do have other ones, which I'll probably show you. But they don't have labels on them because I literally made them yesterday. And for my wax melts and candles, like, so you have to, when I make my candles and stuff, you have to basically let the candle or wax melt cure, which is just allowing the wax to bond with the fragrance oil. Because if you light it like day 1 or day 2 after you make the candle, I promise you it's not gonna smell like anything. Like, it could smell so good, so beautiful, so delicious as you're making it. The second you light it, not gonna smell like anything. So you have to wait. Because trust me, I made that mistake myself before. So usually I wait a week. There are people who wait like 2 to 3 weeks. I feel like that's a little extreme. But Usually I wait about a week and then I put the restock up. So those are going up sometime soon. But yeah. So my display that I was talking about in the last video has arrived. I'm gonna try to like put it together and go from there. Yeah, I don't know how it's gonna look just yet, but pretty much my inspiration was based off of like craft. I don't want to say craft, artist alleys, and I kind of talked to some other like artists, and I'm like, does it make sense for me to be at an artist alley? And they were like, pretty much no. Like you would fit. You're supposed to be at craft fairs, and I'm like, okay, because I make candles, but I don't necessarily do like art, so I could see why. But also, I'm like craft fairs. Mixed feelings about craft fairs. At least in my area, like sometimes with some craft fairs, you just get not the highest quality of goods available, okay? And that's just how it is. Or you get like stuck with a lot of like MLMs and you're just like, oh, okay. So I don't know. I definitely think that there should be more craft fairs with like a stricter vetting process. And some that are more lax, but that's just me. Anyways, so we're going to be working on that. I'm probably going to show you what my inspiration is today because that's all I'm really going to be working on all day today. I have also updated my website. I'm going to put in a clip here somewhere. Basically, I added, for whatever reason, I used to have reviews on there. And the reviews, I don't know what happened to them. I don't know where they went. I think when I updated from the old site to the way the site looks now, the reviews got turned off. And I was struggling to figure out how to turn it back on, and I finally figured out how to turn it back on. So underneath each product review should be where you can have you could type in a little review, da-da-da-da-da. Most of the reviews either come from, they email us, because when you get an order, when you order through our Shopify, you'll get an email like, hey, leave a review, please. Some people will leave a review. Other of our orders come through the Shop app, which I'm not completely sure how the Shop app works. At least on the seller end. On the buyer end, I use it all the time. But like when you order stuff through like Shopify sites, you usually know when you're looking at a Shopify site. But when you're ordering through a Shopify site, it will somehow connect to the Shop app and like tell you where your tracking is and da-da-da-da-da and all that stuff. And like they can leave reviews through the Shop app. And so like sometimes I'll see reviews and it'll be like shop verified or something like that. And I'm like, okay. I also was able to connect Etsy reviews to our Shopify, to the moonwaxgalaxy.com Shopify site, which I'm kind of excited about, to be honest. I think it looks pretty good, but also like this is just the behind the scenes of trying to get people from Etsy to Shopify because, or I guess my standalone website, I guess I should say instead of just Shopify, but trying to get people from Etsy to my site. I also know that there are plenty of other sellers that are migrating. Listen, I think it's just because tax season is among us and we're crunching the numbers and we're all like, this isn't making sense anymore. Etsy is also like going hard with like their new gift mode, and I'm just like, I don't feel I personally don't feel passionate about gift mode and all that, but they're going hard. They really want people to do the gift mode thing, go crazy. Yeah, that's pretty much all the updates I have right now. So I'm gonna kind of like put together my stand and then see where to go from there. Okay, so here, let me see if I can show you a full shot, is my progress so far. So this is what I was kind of meaning about the boxes. So all of this would be on our table, and we have some like cutouts. Like here we have Kim, and then there's me, and I want to have like maybe our logo or like Moonwax somewhere, but the stars, if you come a little closer, will say our prices, because I know that people have had issues with like how much does things cost, even though I have like a list. I feel like maybe it's too small, so like when people approach, they could just see, oh, candles are $12. And then you have some of the candles here. I'm gonna have like some at the sides too, And then in the middle will be like, kind of like this rotating display for my wax melts in the middle. And then at the side, I'm probably going to have like checkout, because this is 5 feet when I have a 6-foot table. So yeah. So yeah, I don't know how I feel about this. I don't know if I necessarily want it this high either, because I stacked 1, 2, 3, 4 squares, and it might just be 3, because I feel like this is super high. So it might just be like 1, 2, 3, and then 2 going across, and then call it a day. But yeah, I think I'll take off those extra 2, because I'm gonna have candles here, candles there with the basic collection, and then the 2 popular smells. But yeah, I'm thinking that maybe this will be a bit more flashy, or at least that's my hope. I feel like it's still missing stuff. Obviously, I don't have the full display set up yet, but I feel like there's progress, but we're still not fully there yet. Like we're missing something flashy. I definitely want to get, which Kim gave me some fairy lights, so I want to put the fairy lights like inside the boxes to kind of light it up. But I'm trying to basically like catch people's attention visually. I know we're also going to have like maybe like more space decorations. Like I want to get a space helmet and like set it in one of the squares maybe, and that'll help. But I feel like this height thing, I'm praying that it'll work. So yeah, this is just kind of like a test of me figuring stuff out. I'm going to take it back down in a little bit, but this was just my like little work in progress, and I think this is good so far. So like here, if it's on a table, like here would be maybe like hand sanitizer, and like maybe like where the or actually I'll put the hand sanitizer in the middle, and then it's going to be the rotating thing for the wax melts that are hanging up, and then like who are we sign that I made. I'm going to get that reprinted because what's the word? I feel like it's not, I printed it and then it literally like started bleeding, because I wanted it to be a black background with like white text, and for whatever reason the text started turning red, like pinkish, which is okay, but it's not what I wanted. So maybe I'll have to do like Walgreens or like get someone to like professionally print it so I don't have that bleed issue. Yeah, I don't know. I like these cutouts, but I feel like maybe I made them too small. I feel like the stars might be okay. I don't know yet. We're getting there. I'm gonna maybe leave this up just to see what Mom thinks. But yeah, this is it. Then we will see where we're gonna go from there. I'm trying to record this relatively quickly before I go into work. So, a couple things. One, I want to give my thoughts on how the pop-up went. Yesterday was daylight savings, so we went ahead an hour. We lost an hour, and I am feeling it. I'm very tired. I'm so sorry. Luckily, it happened kind of like on a was it Saturday it happened or Sunday? I think it was Saturday night. So I was able to adjust. Saturday was the pop-up that I keep talking about. And I just want to sort of give my thoughts on how it went. I was able to remember to vlog a little bit. So my new setup, because that's what I really want to get into, went well. I basically used these plastic cubes that you kind of combine on your own. And it's originally supposed to be for bookshelves, but I know a lot of artists that go to artist alleys use them, and so I kind of stole that idea. At first, it was supposed to be the 2 towers and then connected in the middle to go across, but Mom was like, no, that's too much, da-da-da-da-da. So I just did the 2 towers. I might still low-key connect them at another event just to see how that goes, but yes. Lots of new things that I did. I had my own hotspot, which went fantabulous. Loved it. I have a hotspot on my phone, but it's very spotty. So like sometimes it'll just go out for no reason. And then I have to like reconnect and then reconnect my reader and like all this other stuff. And it's just so annoying. So the whole time I did stay connected to the separate hotspot that I had, and I was so happy about it. The reader was being a little bit finicky with me. I don't know why. at first, but eventually it was like, okay, I'm connected and we're good. I do think that it's related to like my tablet going idle. So like, you know how like your screen turns off after you don't touch it for like a minute or so. I had to turn that off so that the tablet screen is constantly on, but there's no option to just keep it on and don't go off. Like the longest that I can keep it on for is about 30 minutes. And so I'm thinking like, if I'm at an event for 4 or 5 hours, that could be annoying, right? So I'm trying to think of what to do. I'm gonna look up if there's maybe a setting that I can like go in and just be like, just don't shut off. Or if I truly just have to like touch it every 30 minutes or something like that to make sure it doesn't shut down. But yeah, I noticed that if it goes idle or if the screen turns off, then my reader disconnects and then I have to do all this work to reconnect it and yada, yada, yada. So yeah, I don't know if there's any other thoughts that I immediately had about my setup. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I have, of course, my best sellers are pretty much mahogany and sage, as usual. I literally only made so much sage, and then I was like, I have to make more sage, and then I'm out of sage again. If I ever get the money, I want to get like a big container of sage, but that literally costs like hundreds of dollars. I think it's like 200, 300 bucks for like a huge 1 pound jug of sage, but that's what I really, really need because I feel like I never have sage. Anyway, good problems to have, but problems nonetheless. So the event itself was lovely. Lovely. I loved everything about it. It was basically, I thought it was like a full-blown yoga session, but it was not. It was sort of like like a talk, a luncheon sort of sit. And then the ladies also did like some stretches. So it was very nice. There was also a lot of talk about like, you know, Black women specifically taking care of themselves and their mental health and yada, yada, yada. So it was, I really liked it. And I really liked the space. I felt like everyone felt very welcoming as opposed to, I don't want to throw any shade, but opposed to some other events that I've been at where like sometimes you just feel like you're just there just to be there, and like not everyone is I don't want to say the most friendly, but like people just ignore you or like pretend like you're not there and you're just kind of like, oh. Versus like at this event, like people said hi, you know, people kind of talk to you, you make friendly conversation. It just felt a lot more welcoming. My friend did tell me that like I just need to be at more events with Black people. And I'm like, she may or may not be correct. I feel like my hair is like weird this morning. Like I might have to put some gel down because like this, I kept feeling like it's sticking out. Anyway, she was like, you just might need to be at more events with Black people, Black women specifically. Like that seems to be where you do really well versus like other events. So I don't know. I do think there's some truth in that. I do notice that I obviously tend to enjoy events where it's mostly focused on Black women. So there's that. I do also think, my mom was telling me, it just depends on the space and the purpose of the event. And I also keep those things in mind of like, yeah, sometimes you just go to an event where it's like, it's meant for kids and, you know, you go and they want food and they want like the plushies and the brightly colored stuff and da-da-da-da-da. And most of them don't necessarily care for like, what's the word? They don't necessarily care for like candles or wax melts. Like sometimes they'll buy some wax melts, for the most part, they don't really care, you know. So that's what I'm working on. Yeah, I'm trying to think if there were any other thoughts that I had. It was just a pleasant experience. I did make a little bit of a profit, so that was good. No other thoughts. I don't think. I ran out of bags at the event, so I bought more bags. I have more bags. I honestly should have gotten bags a long time ago, but I have bags now. So I have my smaller size bags that can fit like maybe 1 or 2 candles, which is majority of what people are buying anyways, the 1 or 2 candles. And then I have the big bags, the bigger shopping bags that can fit more, just because some people buy a lot of candles. Sometimes I go to events and people will buy like 4 or 5 candles. So yeah, bigger bag, 2 different size options. I want more signage. I did have like prices stuck up on there, but they were printed through my actual printer downstairs, which, don't get me wrong, lovely printer. Love the printer. It's my favorite printer. Best decision I've ever made, especially since like switching over to the bottled ink instead of the cartridges. I have printed so much and have not had to buy any more ink so far. Granted, buying the ink is expensive, but that ink has lasted me damn near 2 years now. Has it been 2 years? Almost 2 years. So I love that printer, but the quality is also like, when it comes to printing on like paper or cardstock, is not always there. For me, it's okay with stickers or like my labels, but sometimes when it comes to like printing on actual paper, the quality isn't where I want it to be. So I'm probably just going to figure out how to get like buy cutouts and just go from there. So that's what I want to do. I obviously want a tablecloth that says like Moonwax Galaxy on there, because I've tried different signs and it just, I feel like it's not big enough, or it's not working out for me or something. So I'm going to get a tablecloth. Hopefully that goes well. I don't think anything else. I have to get us new shirts, of course, which has been on the bucket list for way too long, but need to get us new shirts. I literally have the guy's number. Guys, this is so bad. I've had this guy's number that makes t-shirts since like Thanksgiving, and I still haven't called him, and I need to call him, and every time I think about it, I always forget. It is now March. So I need to call the guy and just get maybe like a t-shirt made, or maybe one or two, just to get it over with, because yeah, I think that's it. I keep getting requests to make like oils and like body butter, or like some sort of like body products, which I'm hesitant to do. Here's my thing, right? I'm not against making any sort of body products, right? And I think I talked about this with my dad, of like, he said that basically there are some people that just want you to have a whole line, a lineup for a smell. Like you have candle, wax melts, body butter, lotion, perfume, like in one popular smell. And I do understand that people will probably want a whole collection, especially because I'm pretty sure like Bath and Body Works does that. Like they'll give you a lotion, they'll make a lotion, a candle, and I think like a body wash for every smell that they have. And I get it. Like sometimes you smell something and you're like, ooh, I want this on my body. But the reason why I'm hesitant is because like I'm just making this in my house. And I am so afraid of someone being like, I had an allergic reaction to something that you made and da 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 da. Of course, like I'm going to do my own testing and I'm going to do my best to ensure that that doesn't happen. But I'm just so afraid because I don't know. I don't want anyone mad at me. I don't want any lawsuits. I don't want any problems. I don't want anything like that. So we'll see. My best friend was essentially like, well, as long as you list the ingredients, you should be fine. And I'm like, maybe, but trust and believe. Again, I don't have like anything like an industrialized kitchen or anything like that. And like some people are very serious for a good reason about what they put on their skin. So I don't know if that'll happen anytime soon. I am looking into like how much it costs to make a body butter, which isn't too much money. I just have to wait to get paid again pretty much. But yeah, I think that's it that I can think of. Oh, and then the following day I did get an order that was about like 40, I think like 40, 45 bucks. Half of that went to shipping because it came from Canada, so I'm dropping that off today at UPS. I realized, which I shipped through UPS before, but it wasn't an order, but it was me trying to send a candle to a friend, and it kept coming back. I did this 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, why is it coming back? It's because for UPS, you have to have a customs form, which Shopify gives me to fill out. I don't know if Etsy, because every time I ship through Etsy, it just goes straight to the post office. The post office does not make me fill out any customs forms, but UPS does. So whenever I ship through UPS, I have to like sign my name, and it lists like everything that's in the order and all that stuff. And it doesn't print it just once, it prints it like 3 or 4 times. So there's that. And then I give them the paper and they put it in some like plastic thing or whatever and send it off. So those, I keep that in mind when shipping internationally. I also noticed that Shopify a lot of times does not always send, well, it depends on if they're shipping internationally. Usually if it's shipping internationally, they want you to go with UPS or FedEx for some reason. So there's that. And usually between the three, the post office is always the cheapest option to ship stuff, which is crazy because they're always like literally the shipping cost for all three of them just raised like in December or something like that because of inflation. But post office is usually the cheapest option. And then UPS is a little bit more expensive. And then FedEx is always the most expensive option out of all three. Why? I have no idea. I don't know. I really don't. I just know every time like I look at the three of them and they're like, which shipping option do you want to pick? It's usually like that. Like FedEx is so expensive for no reason. So yeah. That's it, I think. I think I've added all my thoughts of what I wanted to say. But it was good. So March, I don't think I did that much this month in March. I went to a pop-up, which I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure I have a clip of myself talking about it, and I might play that clip. I might play this clip, but essentially I had talked before about I hadn't really planned on going to any pop-ups this month. Or really, I hadn't planned any this year, to be honest with you. But there were some pop-ups that I am going to, or that I'm planning on going to in the summer. Mostly because I went last summer and people kept asking about me and my candles, which is always a really good sign. And they want me back. So other things. Only thing left now is pretty much to get a custom tablecloth before summer rolls around. We're still kind of in spring, so that's good. There's Mother's Day coming up that everyone's preparing for. I don't know if I have anything crazy planned for Mother's Day per se. I think we're just gonna chill. I think we're just gonna have a calm time, you know? I've been posting a little bit more to TikTok lately. And oh God, we got to talk about it. I have not talked about this very much until now, but if you're not aware, there are talks going around about Congress in the US specifically, the US Congress planning on banning TikTok, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I don't feel that passionately about. Like, I don't care one way or the other. I know that a lot of people are like, oh, but TikTok helped my business so much, and and entrepreneurs. I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. The US government most likely does not care. And that's just me. I'm not trying to be like super pessimistic about it, but like so many people are like, don't ban TikTok because it lets people be so creative and it helps my small business and it helps entrepreneurs. Girl, the government does not care. The government does not care about that. Honestly, the reasons why they're saying they care is also something that I think is a bunch of baloney as well, but it's whatever. It's neither here nor there. What I can't figure out is that because at first they were trying to do the whole like, oh, we're trying to protect kids. Y'all don't care about kids. Y'all do not care about kids. Honestly, truly. Like, there has been so many other social media sites that have been found guilty of like literally profiting off of the worsening mental health of kids. Y'all do not care about the safety of children online. You don't. And then they're trying to say, well, like, it's a data breach and we need to be concerned about our citizens' privacy. And I'm like, since when did the US government of all people care about privacy? Honey. Anyway, sorry, I'm working myself up for no reason, but that's the whole thing. And right now I have to figure out what my plan is going to be with TikTok and TikTok possibly getting banned and yada, yada, yada. Most likely I'm probably just going to try to focus more on Instagram or YouTube, maybe. Lemonade, I do have an account on Lemonade, but I just don't use it that often, which is why I don't promote it very much. But I do kind of like Lemonade a little bit. If you're unfamiliar with Lemonade, Lemonade is very much so like Instagram, where like it's very pictures heavy. They do also have like videos, but think like Instagram and like Pinterest mixed together. Like the home feed very much so looks like Pinterest, where you have all the pictures, But all the pictures are very much so like Instagram pictures of like random people just posting a selfie or whatever. And it's great. I like it. A lot of it, there's an emphasis on like kind of like a digital scrapbooking aspect of it. So like when you go through the posts, it'll be, first of all, multiple posts that you scroll through, but like people will put kind of like words and arrows and circles and kind of like if you would a scrapbook. So I do like it. It's very like aesthetic heavy, I think, much like Pinterest and Instagram, where you don't really see a lot of like non-aesthetic pictures, if that makes sense, which I think is why I'm a little bit intimidated by posting to Lemonade. But definitely kind of want to try out Lemonade. The problem is that I have like certain candles that's from fandoms like video games and stuff like that, and there are people who are a part of these fandoms in, sorry, my cat is come downstairs and he's like decided to scratch on a box. I am aware that these people are on, say, TikTok per se, but I don't know if I'll be able to reach them on like a platform like Instagram or Lemonade. Like I don't really know if they'll be on those platforms. So it might just have to be like me switching to posting like content about my regular candles, which I have no plan on like how I'm going to do that yet. So that'll be lots of fun. But yeah, that's future stuff that I have to figure out of like, okay, if TikTok goes down, what am I doing then? I did also mention, I don't know if I've mentioned it in a video or not, but I am trying to jump ship from Etsy to Shopify. I have my issues with both platforms, to be honest, and the amount of fees. But I have my issues with both platforms and the amount of fees that they have. Etsy just, they're taking out a big chunk, and I'm not even making that much money, but they're taking out a big chunk of like my profits. Well, I don't want to say my profits, but because like I'm able to do the math of like, okay, how do I price my products now to accommodate for the fees? But if I can avoid that, that would be great. But I do also know that most of my orders still come from Etsy. I've been getting a few more orders through my like Shopify nowadays, but most of them are still coming from Etsy. So working on that. Shopify they don't really nickel and dime you for like every transaction per se. Or like every listing, but they do have like the $30 a month fee, which is kind of hefty. I should think about maybe just paying yearly and calling it a day too. But they do have that fee, but then they also do this weird thing where like, even though the buyer is paying for shipping, they'll pay out all of the money that the buyer has paid and then charge me for the shipping, which doesn't make sense to me. So for example, right, like Etsy will tell me, this is how much you made this week. And out of that total, we're going to take out the shipping. So this is what we're going to pay you. Like they show me everything. Shopify kind of does the same thing. The problem is they don't really show me like, I have to get to another screen to see it, but they don't really show me like how much I've made for that week or whatever. But they do pay it out to me, but then they'll turn around and be like, well, here's the Shopify fee that you owe, the monthly fee. And then they'll also be like, here's the fee for all of the like add-on apps or whatnot. And then they'll also be like, okay, well, this is how much we're going to charge you for shipping. And I'm like, why are you doing it like that? I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but like, why are you doing it like that? So I definitely have my gripes with Shopify as well, but it just is what it is. I definitely now see why so many people will go to some other third party like Pirate Ship and like, I don't know, Pirate Ship or like ShipStation or something like that, where they just fill out the information, print their labels there, and then like they pay for shipping through there, and then just, you know, take the money from Shopify and it'll balance out. You get what I'm saying? I feel like I'm over explaining myself, but it just seems like a lot for something that I feel like should be very simple and easy. Like it's maybe I'm just used to the way Etsy does it, but I'm like, why does Shopify do it like this? Like, why wouldn't you just take the shipping fee out first and then pay me, not pay me and then charge me for the shipping fee? Like, it's just whatever. Okay. Anyways, so I am still slowly working on switching over to Shopify and figuring all that stuff out. I do also want to try to not scale, but like figure out how am I going to get more sales? Because in complete all truth, I am able to sell my candles a lot better in person because obviously like people can smell them, because people can smell them. So I'm trying to figure out like, where do I go from here? And most likely it seems as though I'll probably be trying to like get some of my products in a store somehow, or a boutique, or like, you know what I'm saying? Like in front of people's faces, which I played around with the idea, but now I need to try to see if I can push more for it and try to actually make it happen. So yeah, I don't know if there's anything else. The pop-up that I am working on another release for Sailor Moon, which I talked about on my TikTok. I don't know if I talked about it on other platforms, but I have a Sailor Moon release coming out, and it's basically a candle smell, and we also have wax melts for each sailor. Of course, of the main sailors: Sailor Moon, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Jupiter. Yeah, those 5. The only one that I'm like still waiting on is Mars, who I finally figured out what I want her stuff to smell like. I just need to order it, so it gets here. So I'm gonna be doing that today as well, and it should be here within a couple days. But yeah, I am probably, honestly, April will just be me prepping for summertime, because I'm going to be at quite a few pop-ups in the summertime. Like, I need to restock on my summer candles. The problem is I don't have any more mango tangerine, and that scent has been discontinued from where I get my fragrance from. So I don't know if I want to find something to replace it or not, or what. I was trying to do some like pineapples or mangoes or something along the lines to kind of replace it, but it's been very difficult to get, because I'm very particular when it comes to fruit smells, and every time I get a mango smell, it just doesn't smell like what I want it to smell like. And I know some people were like, oh, it kind of smells like candy, but like the other mango tangerines that I have tried out, no. There was one, I think I got mango something, and it didn't even smell like mango. Like, it smelled like chocolate for some reason or something. I don't know if maybe they gave me the wrong one, but I swear I smelled that bottle and I'm like, it smells like chocolate. So anyways, I think that's a wrap up. I don't have anything else to yap about. If you like this video, like it, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. May your stars always align, and may fate always conspire in your favor. I will see you in my next video. Bye bye.